Life began for Wilma Walker at Enterprise, Kentucky in 1937. Her parents, Harry and Ola, lived up in a holler down a rutted dirt driveway in Carter County. Mom was an elementary school teacher, and her dad, a graduate of Moorhead Normal School, worked a variety of jobs to support the family. Education was greatly valued in the Walker household, so Willi graduated Olive Hill High School after only 3 years. She then continued her study at Moorhead State College, graduating again in only 3 years with a secondary teaching certificate and a major in commerce and geography. Willi started her career as a junior-senior high school teacher of math in Lincoln Park, Michigan. After 4 years, she applied and was accepted into the Department of Defense U.S. Air Force program educating military-dependent children. Initially, the job took her for 2 years to Molesworth Air Force Base in East Anglia, England. There, she taught business and geography, followed by another year at Wheelus Air Force Base in Tripoli, Libya, before returning to the States as a math teacher in Los Angeles. After 3 years in L.A., Willi came home to Kentucky and completed coursework for her master's and doctorate degrees at the University of Kentucky, and subsequently accepting an assistant professor position at Eastern Kentucky University in the geography department. Dr. Joseph Swindleman, a former naval aviator and then chair of the geography department, hired Willi originally as a geography instructor. But he soon moved into a vice president position and implemented a feasibility study for an aviation program at EKU. Willi had always had an interest in aviation and was asked to coordinate the efforts of starting a program at Eastern. Dr. Walker added to her credentials and became a ground school instructor and worked with the Madison County Airport to establish flight training. In 1983, EKU offered its first academic aviation course in private ground flight, followed by an established minor in 1984. Developing and teaching aviation courses was in addition to Willi's full-time duties as a geography professor. Nevertheless, a short 7 years later, EKU began offering a major in aviation, making Eastern the first and only 4-year aviation degree program in Kentucky. 25 students declared an aviation major in the first year, and the numbers have continued to soar to over 325 in 2021. Today, Eastern offers degrees in professional flight, aerospace management, and aerospace technology, and their alumni are employed in a variety of professional aviation careers, including administration, operations technician, and commercial pilot. Teaching tools have been updated to a state-of-the-art simulator and artificial intelligence simulators. Dr. Walker served as chair for both geography and aviation for the last 14 years of her career. Many of her former students are her closest allies. Let's listen to what a couple of her former students have to say.
I'm Lisa Anderson, and I met Dr. Walker at Eastern Kentucky University when she was assigned to be my advisor. This is after I changed my major about 8 times. She was a little intimidating at first, but she suggested that I think about the type of life that I wanted to live, and then look at those jobs that would lead me to that life. And then, what are those skills that I needed for those jobs? She then pulled out the EKU catalog and made a direct challenge. Find the EKU program that best matched my aspirations, and if it didn't exist, design it yourself. Well, I think both of us were surprised when I took her full advice and I designed my perfect major. I presented it to Dr. Walker, and apparently she liked it too, because through her leadership, EKU had its very first Bachelor's of Arts in Geography, Travel and Tourism degree program. I'm one of the first to graduate from the program, and I was surprised to learn that that same program stayed on the EKU catalog for about 15 years. But she also strongly suggested that I take one of her aviation programs. And I'm so grateful I heeded that advice. That's meant everything. Thank you for that. Because of Dr. Walker's approach, I learned very young that I could take control of my own destiny. And I had the responsibility for my own decision making, and she taught me the importance of trust and champions, and finding champions that help support your goals. She also helped prove to myself that I had the ability to refocus and change the direction of my life when I needed to. I learned I could challenge norms, think analytically, and be creative. Who knew? Thanks to Dr. Walker's guidance over 30 years ago, I have had an incredible adventure with this life I've been given. I don't know if Dr. Walker's had the same impact on other students, but I do believe that she knows the importance of presence, the power of your presence, and then the value of demonstrating care. And I'm so incredibly grateful that she shared that with me.
I first met Dr. Walker in 1984 when I began to pursue a minor in aviation. In 1986, under Dr. Walker's tutelage, I began a master's degree program and was hired by her to teach in the aviation program at Eastern Kentucky University, working with new flight students. Thanks to Dr. Walker's guidance and persistence, I was able to complete my master's degree and enter into the competitive field of commercial aviation and was hired by American Airlines. After 40 years, I still consider Wilma my friend and my mentor.
Dr. Walker's influence at EKU and in the Richmond area continues. The aviation program at EKU is expanding and improving with a current fleet of 27 single-engine Cessna 172s, 3 twin-engine Piper Senecas, and they were recently named the FBO for the Central Kentucky Regional Airport, as well as 25% owner of the airfield. Dr. Wilma Walker's leadership has been instrumental in developing a nationally recognized aviation program where recruiters come seeking highly qualified candidates and where students get offered exciting careers in aviation. Although Dr. Walker retired in 2000, she continues to be involved in many endeavors, especially those relating to charities, education, and aviation. A few of those are the Bluegrass Community Foundation, Morehead State University Foundation, Richmond Rotary Club, Kentucky Aviation Association, a charter member of the Aviation Museum of Kentucky, and a member of the Madison County Airport Board. Therefore, in recognition of her pioneer achievements in aviation education, it is fitting that Dr. Wilma Willi Walker be enshrined into the official Aviation Hall of Fame of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.